How do you know that the MAGA world is getting worried about Nikki Haley? Well, their attacks against her, which are constant, are becoming even more deranged and fact-free than usual. Take a look at this recent tweet from Marjorie Greene. She's retweeting the libs of TikTok who spread a video that we're gonna show you. And Marjorie Greene is saying, add child sex change surgeries to the list of reasons no one should support Nikki Haley. Okay, the idea being Nikki Haley supports child sex change surgeries, thus she is disqualified. Here is the video, the exact video, the entirety of it that Libs of TikTok put out.
Madam Ambassador, another question is what care should be on the table when a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy. What should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it.
That is where the video ends, and that is not a coincidence. It is the textbook definition of manipulative editing. Here is what she said. I think the law should stay out of it, and I think the parents should handle it. This is a job for the parents to handle, and then when that child becomes 18, if they want to make more of a permanent change, they can do that. Let me add a little disclaimer to this. I think that every person in this story is the absolute worst. Marjorie Greene sucks. Libs of TikTok are massive liars and they suck. And Nikki Haley also is terrible and she is a radical on these issues. But it's pretty crazy when they just cut her off before she can say the rest of her sentence and then lie about what that would have been. And the thing is, it's not gonna hurt Chaya Raichik's reputation, such as it is on Twitter. Marjorie Greene is not going to apologize for having spread this wildly dishonest interpretation of what Nikki Haley said. And so instead you have this thing where they're all radicals, they're all transphobic, but they have to pretend that some of them aren't so that they can seem to be the bigger, more awesome extremist on this issue. Sharon, what do you think?
You're so right again. I would want to beat the best. I just want to win honestly. And if this is what you have to resort to, and I said it before, how low can you go? There's no bottom. There is no bottom. And they're going to keep going with this. But again, I'm trying to be good here and show integrity. But this is what you get when you get down and make a deal in this devilish world of fakery and a lack of integrity. Nikki Haley may be worse than all of these attacks because she is masquerading as an alternative, a reasonable person, a good choice that everyone could just rally around and go with. And we honestly don't know everything that she does stand for because she lacks such integrity. It's whatever's going to get her ahead. It's backfiring. It's actually backfiring. And I rather enjoy that. The alternative though, with the MTGs of the world and others is far worse. Well, I just said, no, it's not far worse. They're all in this. And I don't know that we can even rank them. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for Nikki Haley, not one bit, because this is a choice. And they've chosen to be like, what was the MTV show with, was it 12 strangers living in a house, 7 strangers living in it? And they just, so let's see what happens. And this is where they're in the house together and they're just gonna have to figure it out, battle it out however you want.
Yeah, and they've stopped being polite and they've started being really crazy.
Right, yeah, you got it.
Twist, but yeah. And look, to your point about how, I want to correct the record, but that doesn't mean that Nikki Haley deserves a lot of sympathy. In just the past year, Nikki Haley has claimed that trans girls are making cisgender girls die by suicide. She said that she'll always fight against trans girls getting equal opportunities in sports. She kicked off a presidential campaign with an invocation from hate pastor John Hagee, who believed that Hurricane Katrina was a punishment for pride parades and called for a harsher version of Florida's Don't Say Gay law at the same event. All of that, not good enough for Marjorie Greene and Libs of TikTok. Not extreme enough, because and that's, they always have to, they're centering this in the campaign. They think this is what you should be deciding based on. Don't think about the tax cuts behind the curtain or whatever. Don't think about the fact that your minimum wage is never gonna go up and you're never gonna be able to afford a home and all that stuff. Instead, focus on this and pretending that things are happening and at higher rates than they actually are. And it reminded me, by the way, I just wanted to remind everyone, Do you remember when Matt Walsh was on Joe Rogan and he was talking about hormone therapy for kids? And Joe Rogan asked him, how many people have had this done? And Matt Walsh said, well, depends on what. I don't think we have exact numbers, but we're talking about the drugs. I mean, millions. And this is wild at the Joe Rogan show. One of the producers looked it up, and over the past 5 years, it was less than 5,000. He was wrong by a factor of, I don't even know, I'm not a mathematician, but it was like cosmic levels of pretending it was a thing that's happening that is not. And that is all throughout the right wing now. And why wouldn't they do that? They want this to be the only topic that people think about. And so they have to pretend that it's everywhere. Everywhere you turn, someone's getting a surgery or whatever. And then attacking someone like Nikki Haley, who is an actual zealot already on this issue, as being insufficiently extremist. That said, Nikki Haley also got Judge Judy's endorsement, so I guess it balances out. I don't know. Any final thoughts about Nikki Haley or Judge Judy, perhaps?
My goodness, I revered her and I watched her program for years, and now I must stop. I cannot watch anymore. I thought that she was a little harsh, but made some sense. No more, no more. And I just am disgusted by that. I have to tell you that. And you're right about, you're right about Nikki Haley and Marjorie Taylor Greene and the likes of them. The truth is ugly enough. The truth is ugly enough. We don't need to pile on. But like you said, it's transgender, trans athletes, critical race theory, all things that have nothing to do and are not affecting your life, but somebody dreamt it up in some little harsh, far-right think tank and decided, we'll just go with this. And while we're picking their pockets, they won't even know.
100%. Yeah, like the future that they are racing us towards, that many of their viewers and followers and voters don't seem to have any problem with, is they're gonna be living on the streets in a garbage can, warming their hands over like the books they're burning and just thinking, well, at least trans kids can't play field hockey. Like that is the future they're racing towards, and they don't even seem to know that they're being conned in this way.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.